Dogs get lonely. It's a fact. But how do you know when your furry buddy is feeling the blues? First, let's talk about loneliness. Dogs are social creatures. They thrive on interaction. When left alone for too long, they can get sad, bored, and even anxious. You might think it's just a dog, but for them, loneliness can feel just as real as it does for us. Pay attention to their behavior. Are they acting differently? Small changes can be big clues. If your dog starts following you around more than usual or seems less interested in their favorite toys, it might be time to take notice. Loneliness in dogs isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected. So let's talk about the signs one by one and figure out how to keep our dogs happy, healthy, and most importantly, not lonely. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video so YouTube keeps bringing our content your way. Let's get started. 1. Change in play style. When your dog's play style changes, it's a subtle but important sign that something's up. Maybe they're not as excited to chase that ball, or they lose interest halfway through a game of fetch. You might think it's just a mood, but it could be loneliness creeping in. Dogs love to play, and when that excitement fades, it's often because they're not getting enough interaction. Sure, they might still play alone, but it's not the same. They need that connection, that engagement. If you notice your dog playing less or in a different way, take a moment to engage them. Spend more time playing, even if it's just for a few extra minutes. A change in play style is their way of saying, "I need more from you." Don't miss that signal. Your dog's happiness could depend on it. 2. Following you around. If your dog has started following you around like a shadow, it's not just because they're curious. This is a classic sign they're feeling lonely and need some reassurance. Sure, it's cute at first. They want to be where you are, whether you're making breakfast or just sitting on the couch. But when it happens all the time, it might mean they're missing out on the social interaction they crave. Dogs are pack animals, and you're their pack. When they're alone or bored, sticking close to you gives them comfort. It's like their way of saying, "Don't leave me." This behavior isn't alarming, but it's definitely something to notice. Next time they're glued to your side, consider it a nudge to give them more attention. Play with them, take them for a walk, or just spend a little more time hanging out together. They need that connection. 3. Seeking comfort in your belongings. When your dog starts seeking comfort in your belongings, it's a gentle nudge that they're missing you. Finding your dog curled up on your favorite sweater or snuggling with your shoes isn't just about the coziness. It's about your scent. Dogs have an incredible sense of smell, and your scent provides them with a feeling of security when they're feeling lonely. It's like having a piece of you close when you're not around. This behavior is harmless, but it's telling. Your dog is trying to fill the void of your absence with whatever they can find that reminds them of you. While it's sweet, it's also a sign that they need more attention. If you notice this happening more often, consider it a reminder to spend more quality time together. A few extra cuddles or a walk could make all the difference in easing that loneliness they're trying to soothe with your belongings. 4. Decreased energy levels. If your dog's energy levels drop, it's not just because they're tired. It could be loneliness. Dogs are usually pretty active, especially when they're happy and engaged. But if your dog starts sleeping more, shows less interest in walks, or just seems sluggish, it might be because they're feeling down. Boredom and loneliness can drain their energy, making them less enthusiastic about activities they used to love. It's easy to overlook this, especially if life gets busy, but it's a sign that your dog isn't getting enough stimulation or interaction. They might still get up for meals or a quick play, but the spark isn't there. When you notice this, it's time to step up your game. A bored dog is a lonely dog. Sometimes all it takes is a new toy, a longer walk, or just spending a bit more time together to make a big difference. You'll be surprised how quickly that extra attention can bring their energy back. Have you noticed any of these signs in your dog? Share your experiences in the comments below. 5. Increased vocalization. When your dog starts vocalizing more, whining, growling, or barking, it's often their way of saying they need more engagement. Dogs use their voices to communicate, and when they're feeling lonely, they tend to get louder about it. You might notice your dog whining when you're not paying attention or growling at things they'd usually ignore. Increased vocalization isn't just noise. It's a sign that something's missing. They're craving interaction whether it's play, a walk, or just some attention. Sometimes, dogs bark out of boredom or because they're anxious when left alone. If this becomes a pattern, it's a clear indication that your dog is feeling the effects of loneliness. Instead of just shushing them, try to understand what they're asking for. Engage with them, give them a toy, or simply spend some time together. A little bit of your attention can go a long way in quieting that need for connection. 6. Frequent licking of paws or other body parts. If your dog starts licking their paws or other body parts more than usual, it's not just grooming. It's often a sign of stress or boredom and possibly loneliness. Dogs sometimes resort to repetitive behaviors like licking when they're trying to soothe themselves. It's a bit like humans fidgeting when they're anxious. You might see them licking the same spot over and over, and while it might seem harmless at first, it's a sign that they're feeling uneasy. If they start licking furniture or even the walls, it's a stronger indication that they're lacking stimulation or feeling lonely. This kind of behavior can become a habit if not addressed, leading to skin irritation or even infections. When you catch your dog doing this, take it as a signal to engage with them more. A good play session, a walk, or even just some extra petting can help ease their stress and reduce this behavior. 7. Changes in sleep patterns. When your dog's sleep patterns start to change, it's a sign that something is off. Maybe they're sleeping more during the day, or you find them napping in odd places. Dogs, like people, have routines, and when those routines shift, it's often a sign of deeper distress. Sleeping more could be a way for them to pass the time when they're bored or lonely. On the flip side, if they're suddenly restless at night or waking up frequently, it could be anxiety. Pay attention to where they're sleeping too. Choosing unusual spots might mean they're seeking comfort or feeling insecure. These changes are subtle, but they're important. Don't just chalk it up to them getting older or having an off day. If your dog's sleep habits are changing, it's time to check in with them. Maybe they need more activity during the day or just a little more attention to feel secure and content. 8. Overeating or undereating. When a dog's eating habits change, whether they're overeating or skipping meals, it's often a sign of emotional imbalance, possibly due to loneliness. Dogs typically have a consistent appetite, so when they start eating more or less than usual, it's worth paying attention. Overeating can be a way for them to cope with boredom or anxiety, almost like stress eating. On the other hand, if your dog starts undereating or ignoring food altogether, it's a serious sign that they're feeling down. This kind of behavior isn't just about being picky. It could be a reaction to feeling isolated or anxious. You might also notice them begging for food more often, even after a meal, as they seek comfort. Changes in weight, whether up or down, are another red flag. If your dog's eating habits shift, it's time to consider their emotional needs. A little extra care and attention can help get them back on track. 9. Withdrawal from family members. When your dog starts withdrawing from family members, it's a clear sign something's wrong. Dogs are social animals. They thrive on interaction and affection. So, when they begin avoiding people, it's often because they're feeling lonely, anxious, or even depressed. You might notice they're not as excited to greet you at the door, or they prefer to stay in another room when the family is together. Sometimes they might hide or choose to be alone, which is unusual behavior for a dog that usually enjoys company. Ignoring commands or losing interest in playtime and cuddles can be subtle signs that your dog is feeling disconnected. Even if they're not completely avoiding you, seeming less engaged or indifferent is a clue that something's off. If you notice this, it's crucial to take action. Spend some quality time with them, offer reassurance, and help them feel connected again. Know someone who could use this advice? Share this video with them and help strengthen their bond with their dog. 10. Pacing and restlessness. When your dog starts pacing or showing signs of restlessness, it's usually because they need more stimulation and companionship. Pacing back and forth or in circles isn't just a quirk. It's often a sign they're anxious or bored. Dogs are creatures of habit, and when they don't have enough to keep them occupied, they can become restless. This behavior can escalate, with your dog struggling to relax or settle down, even in their favorite spots. You might notice them getting up frequently during the night or panting more than usual while they pace. This kind of behavior often indicates that your dog is feeling pent-up energy or stress from being alone too much. It's their way of saying, I need more activity, more engagement. When you see this happening, try increasing their exercise, introducing new toys, or simply spending more time with them. Your dog's restlessness is a call for more interaction. 11. Not eating. If your dog stops eating, it's a serious signal that something is very wrong. Dogs love food, so when they suddenly lose interest, it's more than just being picky. Skipping meals, especially for more than a day, is a red flag that can point to emotional distress like loneliness or anxiety. You might notice them sniffing their food but walking away without taking a bite, or they might just ignore it altogether. This isn't just a mild concern. It's something that needs immediate attention. A dog that isn't eating can quickly lose weight and energy, leading to bigger health issues. Sometimes, emotional factors like loneliness can affect their appetite, making them feel too low to eat. If your dog is refusing food, it's crucial to check in with your vet and also consider what might be affecting them emotionally. Getting to the root of the problem quickly can help bring your dog back to their normal, happy self. 12. Bathroom accidents. Bathroom accidents in a well-trained dog are a clear sign of emotional stress. If your dog suddenly starts having accidents inside the house, it's not just an inconvenience. It's a signal that something is seriously wrong. Dogs don't like to mess where they live, so when this happens, it's often due to anxiety, fear, or loneliness. You might find that your dog is urinating or defecating in unusual spots, like on furniture or in rooms they normally avoid. In some cases, these accidents might occur more frequently or in places they know they shouldn't go, like near the door or in their bed. This behavior is a cry for help, reflecting significant emotional turmoil. It's not just about housebreaking, it's about their emotional state. When you notice this, it's essential to address the underlying issue, whether it's loneliness, a change in routine, or something else causing stress. Your dog needs reassurance, stability, and probably a little extra care to get back on track. 13. Excessive grooming. Excessive grooming in dogs goes beyond just staying clean. When it becomes obsessive, it's usually driven by anxiety or stress, often linked to loneliness. If your dog starts licking or chewing themselves excessively, especially in one spot, it can lead to bald patches or irritated skin. This behavior is similar to how people might bite their nails when they're nervous. It's a coping mechanism, but it's not a healthy one. You might notice your dog focusing on their paws, legs, or belly, sometimes to the point where the fur is thinning or the skin becomes red and raw. In extreme cases, they might even groom themselves to the point of bleeding. This kind of behavior indicates that your dog is dealing with significant stress or anxiety. If you see this happening, it's crucial to address the root cause, whether it's loneliness, boredom, or something else. Providing more attention, stimulation, and possibly consulting a vet can help break this harmful habit. 14. Destructive behavior. Destructive behavior in dogs isn't just about chewing up shoes or tearing apart furniture. It's often a sign of severe loneliness and anxiety. When a dog starts destroying things around the house, it's their way of expressing frustration or distress. This can range from chewing on furniture to shredding pillows or even scratching doors and walls. Dogs that are left alone for long periods are more likely to develop these behaviors because they have excess energy and no way to release it. Destruction becomes a way for them to cope with the boredom and loneliness they're feeling. It's not just about being a bad dog. It's about needing more interaction, exercise, and mental stimulation. If your dog is acting out like this, it's crucial to address both the behavior and the cause. Increasing their daily exercise, offering interactive toys, and spending more time together can help curb these destructive tendencies and keep your dog happy and well-adjusted. 15. Excessive barking and howling. Excessive barking and howling is one of the most concerning signs of loneliness in dogs. When your dog barks or howls more than usual, especially when left alone, it's a cry for attention and a sign of deep distress. Dogs use their voice to communicate, and when they feel isolated, they often become much louder. This isn't just about being noisy. It's about expressing their anxiety and need for companionship. You might notice that your dog barks at nothing in particular, or howls when you leave the house. This behavior can also happen at night, disrupting sleep for both of you. It's their way of saying, "I'm lonely and I need more from you." Ignoring this can lead to more severe behavioral problems, so it's essential to respond with more attention, interaction, and possibly some training. Addressing the underlying loneliness is key to quieting this behavior and making sure your dog feels secure and loved. When it comes to dogs, understanding their behavior is key to ensuring they're happy and healthy. Dogs rely on us for companionship, and when they start showing behaviors like following you everywhere, changing their play style, or even more serious signs like excessive barking or destructive actions, it's their way of communicating that something's wrong. Recognizing these signs early on allows you to take steps to improve your dog's emotional health. Whether it's spending more time together, introducing new activities, or seeking professional help, addressing loneliness can make a big difference in your dog's happiness. Dogs aren't just pets, they're family, and their well-being depends on the connection they share with us. By paying attention to their needs and responding to their signals, you can help prevent loneliness and ensure your dog lives a fulfilled, joyful life. A little extra care and attention can go a long way in keeping your furry friend happy, healthy, and loved. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. See you next time with more tips and curiosities about the world of dogs.